This is the video tutorial series of M.E.A.N web app. In my application, in our last video tutorial, I built the front end Angular 2 setup. This is video tutorial number 4 of this series. Today I am going to continue the front end, including the read operation and delete operation. So first of all, I am going to start MongoDB, and then I am going to start my server, Node.js server.js, and already I started my Angular project client src1. Okay, now I am navigating to the localhost 4200, and it was the screen that I worked last time. Now, like the previous video, following some simple steps, I will try to complete the CRUD operation, and it will be the step number 1 to edit home component TS file. Let us open the Visual Studio Code Editor, and this is our file. This is our home component TS file. I will import the employee service and employee class or interface that I created last time, like this and this. So I'm going to import employee service to home component TS file, and also I need to import employee. Okay, so these are the two things that I needed to import. Now I need to inject the service into the constructor. So to do that, I'm going to write public emp service and I need to create a variable employee type of employee, and I'm going to create get employees method to retrieve the data from the MongoDB database. Let us do it. Get employees, and I will write this dot employee service dot, the methods are listed here because I created the employee service and I created within that service these methods. That's why it is listing up all of the method that I created into that files. So here I am going to use the get employees method, and all of these listed methods I will use whenever I will necessary into different components to retrieve or to manipulate the data of our project. And we need to subscribe, and it will be employee, and I can write this dot employee is equal to employees, this employees, and here will be also employees. Okay. These employees is coming from this, and this employees is coming from this. So I have completed this method. Now I need to call this method into ng on init lifecycle hook. This, okay. Now this file is this employees array object is available to use in the home component. Now the time to go to home.component.html file, and first of all I will remove the dummy data from the page because all of these are the dummy data. So I am going to remove the dummy data. Only I will keep one. Yes. Now I am going to use ng4 to get the employee list and to show it in the home page. So for doing that, I need to write here star ng4 is equal to let employee of employees, and here instead of hard code I will use interpolation, and employee dot name, and I'm copying position and department. Okay, now I need to work with the buttons, and before that let me save it and see. This is the data that is coming from the MongoDB database, and we can check it out by creating Mongo and show database, and our database will be employees use employees and db dot find dot prettify. Okay. Sikandar Abu Rakib, position, department, and salary. Sikandar Abu Rakib, position and department. So these are the data that we got from the MongoDB database. Okay. Now I'm opening the home.component.html. I'm going to focus on the buttons here. Buttons. Okay. So for first button here, I'm writing router link, and here I can write show, and I can write employee dot underscore id, because in MongoDB we know the id is saved as underscore id. Okay, now I can copy it and here and write edit, and here for delete I can use the click event. delete employee, and I am picking up the employee ID, which employee I need to delete. And I'm coming to home component TS file, and before that I'm going here, refreshing the page, and no error. Okay, now if I navigate, you see here if you see show, so ID is changing, so it is working properly, and accordingly it is working properly. So now I can create the delete method, delete employee, and from here I am sending one ID, so that ID will come here, and here I will use this dot employee service and the delete employee method, and I am going to send the ID and dot subscribe, and I can write so after deletion I would like to call the get employees method. So for doing that I need to call this get employees. So as I am using the Ajax, so I cannot reload the entire page. Rather, I will reload the certain component of the HTML page. That's why I cannot use the reload or location, because it will reload the page that it is not our objective. Okay. Okay, let us see the result. Uh, I can delete. Yes, it is deleting, and I can go to the Mongo shell and check. Here you see the 4 records. It was there before, and now it is 3. So I can delete one more. It is deleting. Okay. Now, uh, now I can work with showing this page. So if I click this, it is loading this page, but here is the hard coded. Okay, now I am going to show.component.ts file, and I will import the employee service and employee and the router. So I'm going to home and copying all of these things and paste it here. And also I need to import activated route and params and router from Angular router. Okay, and I need to inject the employee service activated route and router into the constructor, and for doing that and public activated route and also public router. Okay, Now I'll go to write employee variable of type employee, and we'll write the method get employee, and I'm going to pick up the ID number from the URL link. I'm writing var ID equal to this dot route dot snapshot dot params and ID, and I'm going to use the get employee service from employee service, get employee method from employee service, and for doing that I need to write this dot emp service dot get employee, not employees, to get the single employee, and I need to pass the parameter ID what I got here, and I need to subscribe and employee fat arrow, and I can write this dot employee is equal to employee. Here again this employee is here, this, and this employee is this variable. Okay, now I'm going to write a method, go back method for cancel button, and I am going to write this dot router dot navigate home. So we are coming back to home. Okay, so this is all about the show component ts file. Next step is to go to show.component.ts file. No, sorry, it was the step of 5, and next step is 6. Edit the show component ts file, HTML file. Okay, so if I go back and try to see, I'm not getting the data because I did not use anything. So if I use here interpolation and employee dot name, from where the employee is coming, from this employee object is giving the data. Okay, and save it and try to see detail. Here is the error. I wanted to show you the error, that's why. Okay, now to avoid this error, because this employee object will not be filled all the time, so we'll have to give the protection for doing that. So here we can write ng if employee, that means if employee is filled with the data, then execute the following. So if we go, it is not showing. Okay, but error is eliminated. Okay, now what I made the mistake here, get employee show oh I did not call it from here. Okay, so if I don't call it from the lifecycle hook, it will not be available there. Sorry for the mistake. This dot get employee, and you can check. Yes, the things is here. Okay. So my mistake was I did not call this method from the ng on it init lifecycle hook. That's why the everything was okay, but unless I call it from here, when the page is loaded, then it will be not filled with the data. That's why it was empty and it was not showing. Okay. Now I'll go to HTML file, show.component.html file, and make the changes of other fields, position and department, and last of all salary. And I need to change it, the anchor, and I'm adding a click event, and we'll write go back. This method I wrote before. Here, go back. Okay. Save and coming here. Okay, home, detail, cancel, go back to home, detail, and everything is here. Go back, detail, everything is here. Okay. So so we can read from the database and display all the employee records here. We can read single data, and we can delete the data from here, and rest of the thing I can do into my next video, that is the add operation and edit operation. So I think this is the right place to stop for today. Thank you for staying with me, and thank you for watching. See you in the next video.